Recording started.
All right. I call this meeting about to order at 12:47 p.m. Please note that this meeting may be filmed and or audio recorded. This meeting minutes, any other records or addenda may be made available to the public. Let's go move on to SSB 2023-1184. This is the Senate Persons Act. It's CPA. I think this should be SPA. We could fix that in amendments.
Wow.
Provision. This was written by Senator Rajmian. There are no sponsors. Senator Rajmian, you will have 5 minutes of presentation whenever you are ready.
I must have been up late. So the committee, the Senate Persons Act. So the goal of this is that the Senate President will make sure that the portraits of chairpersons and vice chairpersons would be placed on student government websites where the committees are designated, similar in fashion to how the Senate President pro tempore on the SG website. And that senators may also have the option to have their portraits listed on the SG website if they so choose and if they're willing to pay for their photo, because SG, if you haven't noticed, with the Senate President and Senate Pro Temp and the President, they all have a certain style. So it would be costly to do that for 100 plus people, including the turnover rate that we happen to have. So if the senators would like their photos posted, they can pay for it. I thought it would be reasonable to put the committee chairpersons and vice chairs on the SG website as well. As something to note, FSU, one of our sister schools, senators may choose to have their portraits added to their SG website in a similar fashion to their Senate Pro Temp and President. So I thought it was just give a bone to our committees and have them represented, and our senators. I don't see why not. So, yeah. And I waived the remainder of my time. Sorry.
Thank you. We'll have 5 minutes of question and answer. Are the members wishing to speak in Q&A? Senator Reich.
Just a quick question on the funding. So will the funding be, it's to have the portrait taken, not to be posted on the website? Is that, if that's correct?
So
That doesn't, I don't know the funding.
So there's no money that goes into the posting of it. It's just upload JPEG, so it's just to take a photo.
Senator DeMera.
Would you be amenable to cutting out vice?
Can you please speak up for the record?
Oh, I apologize.
Thank you.
Would you be amenable to cutting out vice chairpersons and then the student senators just to not crowd the website? But again, if you're not,
Can you repeat that really quick?
just cutting out vice chairpersons and then of all senators.
Where am I? I'm still a little bit lost.
So.
And just put all senators?
No, instead of all senators, and also cut out all senators here too. So it's just committee chairs.
Personally, I vice chairs too. I mean, I kind of like having the vice chairs and chairs dynamic.
Can we speak up a little
Sorry,
bit louder?
if you'd like to restate it for them to hear.
I apologize. The question that was asked was whether or not the author would be amenable to cutting out vice chairpersons and all senators.
I mean, personally, I like to keep both chairs and vice chairs on there, just to have because the goal of this is to be front facing to our constituents. So having the people who are in charge of the committee, because if the chairperson isn't there for the meeting, the vice chair calls it to order. So potentially there might be meetings where the vice chair of a committee is the one to speak to. So face the name.
And follow up.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, and as for the portraits of all senators, would you be open to cutting that out, or would you like to keep that portion in?
I mean, there's nothing. I would like to keep it because it is an elective thing to do. So if someone would like to do it, they can. No one's forcing anybody. So it's just giving senators an option. So personally, I like to keep those provisions. I mean, if you all feel strongly about it, and I mean very strongly, I mean, I can't stop you, but.
Agree.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Is it in order for during questions and answers to ask about policy-related questions rather than private questions?
So there's nothing really in the rules that say anything about the policy matters. If that is something because the whole idea is this. You shouldn't be critiquing a bill necessarily on policy because our whole purpose is reviewing it, but they can ask questions about policy if they're trying to get that problem rectified, especially considering that, for the first time, that there's actually representation from both sides on the committee, to ensure that there's a legislative efficiency so that we don't have the opportunity for those amendments to have to be put up, go through that long process, especially with some of the new bills coming through that could impede on that process and make it even longer to just get a bill passed. So like it just kind of helps to make sure things are a little bit more efficient. So I don't mind that dialogue in Q&A, but when it comes to reviewing the bill, that debate, and then going into the motions, that's when I have an issue when it comes to doing that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you. Any members wishing to speak in Q&A? Seeing none, we'll move on to 5 minutes of debate. Any members wishing to speak in debate? Seeing none, let's move on to 2 minutes of final privilege. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah. When it comes to like those provisions on whether or not to strike them or not, I would honestly just approve the bill as is, and then put on the floor. If you guys feel strongly, you can submit amendment beforehand, and we can have that dialogue in Senate, so we, as a Senate, come to a consensus on the idea. I feel like when it comes to respective senators' headshots, it's an elective thing. So if you want, like for my constituents only know my name if they even look at the SG website. So maybe having a face to it would be very helpful. So I don't see why we should say no. Senators just shouldn't get the option to even like have their name there, because all they get is our email and our name. As for the vice chairpersons, it's the same thing with the committees. Like committees can be called to order with the vice chair. So there's like those are their two major outlets. So I mean that's where I'm coming from. But yeah, I waive the remainder of my time.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to move on to motions. Are there motions at this time? Vice Chair Marcelino.
I move to amend the title of the bill to state Senate Bill 2023-1184 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow
Follow up.
I move to add a space after the ending parentheses in the title after the CPA between the parentheses and the dash by unanimous consent.
And add a space between the...
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. By unanimous consent, any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Follow up.
I move to add myself to the sponsors line by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I'm to add Chairperson Stevens to the sponsors line by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to... Huh?
The acronym.
Acronym? Oh, yeah. I move to amend the acronym of the title to state SPA by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to amend the title of the chapter heading to state comma space 2023-1184 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
Part of point of information.
Go ahead.
She removed the header, the U.S. Student Senate header.
Which one?
Like, go out. It's not a show. Like,
If it doesn't show on my documents, I don't think
Okay.
it's on there. I can check back when I review it later, but
then,
you should be good.
I move to approve SSB 2023-1184 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. SSB 2023-1184 has been approved. We're going to move on to SSB 2023-1185. This is the Excuse Document Act, EDA. This is the 300 Codes revision. And it is authored by Senator Raj Mia, and there are no sponsors. Senator Raj Mia, you will have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Okay, so this bill. So the idea I had for this bill is when I was in summer, I went through the Big Five hearing. Jackie basically wrote for the committee people an excuse form to give to our respective teachers and whatnot, saying please excuse and be understanding about this, that this is a very important thing. And it was signed off by Jackie, and it had letterheads and everything. It was used as an excuse so we could do work at a later date. What this bill does, it creates a formal process for this, and it also allows senators, because we have regularly scheduled occurring meetings on Tuesdays, to hand this in to their professors and excuse documentation saying, hey, please excuse this person. They can make up the work at the next date. Of course, it would, at the end of the day, be up to the professor's purview whether or not to accept that excuse. But there is, in the academic regulations, student government is a legitimate excuse to an extent. So it's really more of like just having documentation to present to your professor so people can be at Senate. I know during the summer we had issues with quorum, so giving people this leeway and have this document say, hey, I have this, please excuse me, it's okay if it's okay. So this just allows a conversation, because it is kind of weird at times if I have a Senate meeting and I really need to go, and if I go up to my professor saying, hey, I have a Senate meeting, and they give me the, what do you mean Senate meeting? Is that a club? So it just allows me to have a document saying this is a formal thing and it's done. Yeah, this would be, I know a lot of classes in the first 2 weeks are like, hey, if you have any conflicts, tell me in the first 2 weeks, otherwise it's a penalty. This allows that when RNA meets, because at the beginning of each semester they have to set a certain date and time for a regularly scheduled Senate meeting, that they create a documentation saying, hey, Senate will be here, here, here at 7:30. So senators can just simply give it to the professors. How much time do I have left?
You'll have 3 minutes left.
3 minutes. Oh, I forgot. It's 5. Yeah, and this allows a two-pronged process. So RNA makes a document, and this is followed by student government advising. Can have the option of signing off on that document to certify it, is what I call. So whether it's Jackie or Jerome, they can sign off of it, saying, yeah, this is an actual thing. This isn't forged at all. This is an official thing sanctioned by student government. Ultimately, this document is just to allow a dialogue between you and your professor. This isn't encouraging people to miss class. This is simply allowing students the outlet of both doing their academic commitments fully and their extracurricular commitments to Senate. Yeah, I'm open to any questions, so please ask away. So, I yield the remainder of my time.
Thank you. We'll move on to 5 minutes of question and answer. Senator Rice.
Yeah, so I know Jackie, as you mentioned, was writing the notes for the budget meetings. Has she been has she or any other members of SGAO been consulted about extending this privilege to regular scheduled Senate meetings?
I did not speak to Jack. No.
Okay.
Senator DeMero.
So, would you be open to tabling this for now, speaking to SGAO, and then if they're completely good with it, then going ahead and passing it just so that we're cool with that?
I would be, but given the circumstances being like, this is now, it's going to take 3 readings. We're at the beginning of the semester, so if this was to like have any impact on this semester for anyone who has academic commitments, for some classes, it has to be done within the first couple of weeks. So, yes and no. I don't.
Follow up?
Okay.
Follow up.
So if agreed, but if it would take a couple of readings, wouldn't we already be outside of that initial?
Yeah, so I am amendable to that, yeah.
Okay.
Any other members wishing to speak in question and answer? Seeing none, we'll move on to 5 minutes of debate. Any members wishing to speak in debate? Seeing none, we'll move. Vice Chair Marcelino.
Yeah, I am just a bit worried about how the legal stuff with SGAO will happen with that. So I just want to echo the sentiments of Senator DeMero. Yes, based upon like university policy.
What?
Like I am university laws.
Okay.
Any members wishing to speak in debate? Seeing none, we'll move on to 2 minutes of final privilege.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk to Jackie about it. Just give me, after Labor Day, on Tuesday I'll get a conversation with her and see what she thinks. Yeah, I'll yield my final privilege.
Any members wishing to make motions at this time? Senator Vice Chair Marcelino.
I'm going to postpone this bill to the next scheduled Judiciary Committee meeting.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. And we're going to go ahead and move on to SSB 2023-1186. It's going to be the resolution to support and promote anti-hazing efforts within the sorority and fraternity life department. It's authored by Senator Raj Mia, and there are no sponsors. You will have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so when I went through the Big Five hearing, SFL presented as one of the Big Five, and they highlighted some of the programs, such as anti-hazing for fraternities and sororities, and I thought that was a good thing. I think it's important that we support our sorority and fraternity life department and sororities and fraternities. Hazing is something that we shouldn't tolerate on campus, so this resolution encourages their efforts with anti-hazing programming and says, you're doing good, expand it, do better, improve it even more. Yeah, I mean, that's really just that's what the resolution is. I yield the remainder of my time.
Lovely. We're moving on to 5 minutes of question and answer. Any questions? 5 minutes of debate. Any debate? 2 minutes of final privilege.
Nothing to add.
Are there any motions at this time? Vice Chair Marcelino?
I move to amend the title of the bill to state Student Senate Bill 2023-1186 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to add myself and Chairman Stevens to the sponsors line by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
I move to add Senator Socket Demera to the sponsors line by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Any other motions at this time?
Follow up.
Yep.
I move to add Senators Matthew Reich and Lori Wong to the sponsors line by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to amend the proviso to state Director of Sorority and Fraternity Life Simone Horman by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? And you said sorority fraternity life. Can you spell that name for me, please?
So, S-I...
Simone.
Simone... I forgot. It's MMONEHORMAN.
Wait, spell the last name for me again.
Give me a minute.
Simone Horman.
Simone Horman.
S-I-N Wait, how do you want the last name?
Yes.
HORMAN.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
H-O-R-M-A-N. H-O-R-M-A-N.
Yes.
Perfect. Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to approve SSB 2023-1186 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. SSB 2023-1186 has been approved. We're going to now follow up with SSB 2023-1187, which is the Agenda Reform Act, TARA. It was authored by Senate President Pro Tempore Nathan McGuinness and Senator Raj Mia with no sponsors. You will have 5 minutes whenever you're ready. Whoever will go. Yep. There you go, Pro Temp, whenever you're ready.
All right, first off, sorry about the confusing name with the earlier agenda format. But to start off with, it's been a while since Raj and I collaborated on this, so I'd like to make some corrections to it. First off, the first amendment that says the amendment to the agenda will be the first section. I'm fine if you strike that because I don't really feel that is necessary with a Senate Secretary prepared agenda because it'll go right to that anyway. And then really the meat of this is about the last added section to this, section 6, where if there's any vacancy in elected office to the Senate, such as Senate President or Senate President Pro Tempore, to immediately have elections at the start of the meeting. I feel like it's necessary to get that done as soon as possible and not have a meeting with someone acting in a position when they should be elected. My only thing that I'd like to change is that instead of saying the first section of the agenda, add a thing that says first section of the agenda after roll call. Just make sure that's more clear. And that's about all. I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to 5 minutes of debate. Any members wishing question and answer? Excuse me. Any members wishing to speak in Q&A? Seeing on 5 minutes of debate. Seeing on 2 minutes of final privilege.
Yeah, same thing. If anyone would like to reword that first change or strike it, perfectly good. And then that last amendment suggestion I added, that we all thank you.
So, before we get into the vote, just want to go over a really quick provision that is a little bit concerning. So when it says following roll call, my issue with that is that if we look at public comment specifically, well, yes, public comment specific. Well, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, you can approve things currently in amendments to the agenda. You can't approve any bills or nominees based off of that, and so I would advocate that this be tabled, but I'm just letting y'all know that, like, if we do approve this, we will have conflicting statutes, and the courts have not generally liked that from the legislature recently. So I would ask that we table this and maybe reconsider the structure of that, maybe look at other parts of the rules and procedures, but otherwise that is unfortunately the legal flaw in this. All right, we're gonna move on to any motions. Are there motions at this time? Senator Reich.
I move to table this bill by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. SSB 2023-1187 has been tabled. We're going to move on to SSB 2023-1188, which is the Executive Annulments Act. EEA? Is it annulments?
Emoluments.
Emoluments. Fun words. 200 Cuz revision. It's authored by Senator Raj Mia, and it was sponsored by no one. You will have 5... I love you. We're going to move on to 5 minutes of presentation whenever you're ready.
Okay, so on the federal level, there is an emoluments clause in our U.S. Constitution saying the president can't get gifts or any of these things. So a Saudi prince can't come to you and say, "Can you guys invade this country for me if I give you $1 billion?" That's the type of thing. And obviously, to that, it's like if there's a lawyer and they try to give you money so you can do this. Basically, it's to stop corruption. So I was looking through our codes. There's nothing really saying that the student body president can't get with a construction firm and get a kickback and have us get with a contract with them or encourage that. So this is supposed to add a fiduciary type of responsibility to the executive branch so that they do not get any financial gain or profit or compensation because they did something. You scratch my back, I scratch your back, quid pro quo. This just lays out provisions to stop that. It allows exceptions for, obviously, scholarships. If you, on merit, get a scholarship, you shouldn't be prevented from accepting that as a student body president. So it has that. Also, there's reporting and transparency clause. So if there's any potential conflicts of interest as a student body president has, they can disclose that in the decision-making process in a timely manner. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, please ask. I think it's fairly straightforward. I yield the remainder of my time.
All right, we'll move on to 5 minutes of question and answer. I'll actually begin real quick.
Okay.
Have you consulted with the Student Government Code of Ethics, which is in Chapter 101 or 111 or whatever? It's 101.
No.
Okay, thank you. Senator DeMera.
Yeah. So there's something that I'm a bit confused about is so in the definition of emoluments, it includes but not limited to salaries, and in 238.010 section 1 it says
Sorry, I lost my place.
I can show it to you real quick.
Sure.
Yeah, it might be easier. So in this section it says they can't receive emoluments as a result of their position. So again, I definitely think there's a fix to it, and I'd love to be on that. But so if someone were to, for example, use SG position that they might have worked for on the resume and then receive a position with a salary, how would that?
So you mean so if they if they were student government productions chair, let's say, and they were applying to a job,
Applying to not even just a job, maybe an internship while during their tenure, how would those?
I mean, in my view, if they're holding the position and they're also applying for a job, I don't see why they should be prevented from doing that.
Mm-hmm.
In my reading of the bill, it doesn't prohibit that. But if you think there needs to be some rewording, I'm down to do that.
Can I follow up?
Sure, go ahead, follow.
Yeah. So I agree. How would you think we could reword that?
This is 1180. Which one? I have to skip up myself.
1188.
1188. 1 second. Okay. Prohibition.
Follow
Jonathan.
Yes.
Follow up.
Go ahead.
Would you be open to tabling it and maybe working on it and then coming back next week?
How many legislative sessions do we have in this cycle?
Like 4 more?
4 more?
4 or 5 more?
4?
I believe. I could be wrong.
Jonathan? Do you know how many legislative sessions we have left?
Legislative sessions. I don't know at the top of my head because depending on the Senate President's orders, any special meetings, I can't really deduce that. At the same time, we also have other mechanisms for us to be able to handle that if we need to call
I suppose so, yeah. I mean, I don't think this is too controversial, so we can table it for now.
Yeah.
I'll rework it to
Any other members wishing to speak in question and answer? We'll move on to 5 minutes of debate. Any members wishing to speak in debate? Vice Chair Marcelino.
I mean, this is sort of already addressed in Chapter 100 of the codes. But, I mean, like, there's nothing really conflicting with that. It's just that it is just sectioned off just for in the 200 codes just for the executive branch, which could be applied to the entirety of SG. So I would think that this is more of a legal thing where it could be just moved to the 100 codes as a supplement to that standard of conduct. But yeah.
I'll restructure.
So I'll speak as chair on this matter. I think that, I mean, I don't disagree with the content or like necessarily seeing this as a 5 criteria violation. I think the major thing though is just that like you're gonna need to find a way to effectively put this somewhere where it's already there. So I would just see what's not covered by that. It's one line, and I recognize that this is a whole chapter that you've created. My suggestion to you, this is tabled, is for you to actually look at this strategically and see what's missing from that statute and instead add it there. Because if I'm correct, there's no reporting or transparency mechanisms within our statutes for that. And that could affect pretty much a lot of aspects, because that's not just that, but it's also the conflict of interest clause within our student body statutes. It's a lot of things. So okay. I think you should just like see what's missing and do what you want to do with that. Any other members wishing to speak in debate? Seeing none, we'll move on to 2 minutes of final privilege.
I hear you. I see you guys. I'll go back to the drawing board for this one. Sorry. My bad.
Thank you very much. We're going to move on to motions. Vice Chair Marcelino.
I move to table SSB 2023-1188 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. SSB 2023-1188 has been officially tabled. We'll move on to SSB 2023-1189, which is the Ad Hoc Committee Clerical and Technical Updates by Senate President Pro Tempore. It's the Rules of Procedures Amendment. It was authored by Senator Raj Mia and Senator Nathaniel Pelton. There are no sponsors on this one, and so are you presenting? Yes. Senator Pelton, you will have 5 minutes whenever you are ready.
All right. Hey, everybody. I apologize for hijacking the rest of this meeting with my 16 bills, but let's go. So this is a very simple, just rules and procedures change. It just establishes precedents. I mean, we've had precedents that members of the student body and other senators are allowed to be members of ad hoc committees given the Senate President's approval. So this is just codifying a precedence, and I see no issues in adding this to the rules and procedures. So I yield.
Yield. All right. Any members wishing to speak in question and answer? Vice Chair Marcelino.
So, is there any particular reason why you changed the wording in subsection D of subsection 2 to from special to ad hoc, because they are essentially the exact same thing?
Well, I think that we've seen all throughout the Constitution that both names have been used, and I think that by trying to, sort of push ourselves towards using ad hoc is more of a legal definition and sort of maintains the precedence of what we've been going on, which is calling them ad hoc, because that's what they are.
Okay.
Any members wishing to speak in question and answer? Seeing none, we'll move on to 5 minutes of debate. Seeing none, 2 minutes of final privilege.
I was going to have another question, but never mind. That's passed.
Okay, gotcha. 2 minutes of final privilege.
I hope to see this pass. Very simple. We're just putting precedents into the rules and procedures, and I yield.
All right. Any members wishing to speak in motions at this time? Vice Chair Marcelino.
I move to amend the title of the bill to state Student Senate Bill 2023-1189 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Follow up.
I move to approve SSB 2023-1189 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. SSB 2023-1189 has been approved. We're going to move on to SSB 2023-1190, which is the Chief of Staff Expansion and Formalization Act. This was also authored by Senator Rajmi and Senator Nathaniel Pelton. Are you also providing? You'll have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much. All right. So we've seen other peer institutions here in the state of Florida that the Chief of Staff of the Executive Branch is usually given the opportunity, if they would like, to appoint Deputy Chief of Staffs. This just allows for more positions to exist in the Executive Branch if they're needed, to sort of kind of let a little bit more of the responsibility lie upon deputies in this very important role that we see helping the executive. So I really hope to see this pass, and I yield.
All right. Any members wishing to speak in question and answer? You all have 5 minutes. Vice Chair Marcelino.
So, I mean, what do you call this? I know that in another bill that's coming up, it's a bill to provide the Senate President Pro Tempore with chiefs of staffs.
That's correct.
Would this be applicable to that too? Because this is essentially just saying for the SVP, SPVP, and SP Treasurer. So,
Well, so just to clarify, this is specifically for the executive branch. The other bill that we'll be reviewing later is specifically for the legislative
Yeah.
branch. I'm attempting to do the same thing for both branches to give everyone a little bit of fairness, but that has to be done with two separate bills in order to make that happen.
okay.
All right, Senator Mero.
So, how is this different than the current system of having a deputy chief of staff that we're having?
Well, as of what I'm aware of, there are no deputy chief of staffs, or at least, at the very least, they're not codified in the Constitution or in the codes, which is what we're trying to do here. So, because it's not seen anywhere, we're just trying to, like I did with the previous bill, just codifying something that already exists.
Members wishing to speak in question and answer? Seeing none, we'll move on to 5 minutes of debate. Any members wishing to speak in debate? Seeing none, we'll move on to 2 minutes of final privilege.
I yield, or wait.
All right, we're going to now move on to motions. Any motions at this time? Vice Chair Marcelino.
I move to amend the title of the bill to state student Senate Bill 2023-1190 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to amend the chapter heading of the bill to include comma 2023-1190 in the parentheses to the by unanimous consent.
Yep. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to approve SSB 2023-1190 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. SSB 23-1190 has been approved. We're going to now move on to SSB 23-1191. This is the Exclusionary Office Title Standardization. There's a 100 code revision written by Senator Rajmi and Senator Nathaniel Pelton. And there are no sponsors, so you'll have 5 minutes whenever you're ready, Senator Pelton.
Perfect. This is a matter of clarity. Throughout the codes, there's a bit of a discrepancy between the term director and chairpersons for each of these positions. We're just trying to clarify that they're all chairpersons, not directors, and so we're fixing that in the codes, and I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you. Are any members wishing to speak in question and answer? Seeing none, any members wishing to speak in debate? Seeing none, any member, you'll have 2 minutes of final privilege.
I yield. I wait.
Got it. Any motions at this time? Vice Chair Marcelino.
I move to amend the title of the bill to state student Senate Bill 2023-1191 by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow
I
up.
move to amend the chapter heading of the bill to include comma space 2023-1191 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow
I
up.
move to approve SSB 2023-1191 by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. SSB 23-1191 has been approved unanimously. We're going to move on to SSB 2023-1192. This is the Finance and Affordability Director Grammatical Correction, 200 Code Revision. This is authored by Senator Rajmi and Senator Daniel Pelton. There are no sponsors. You will have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Again, another matter of clarity. There was no word there to distinguish the fact that the finance and affordability position is in fact the director position. We are fixing the grammar and we are clarifying the codes to make them the best that they can possibly be. I yield.
Thank you. Any members wishing to speak in question and answer? Debate? You have 2 minutes of final privilege.
I waive.
Vice Chair Marcelino.
I move to approve it. I rescind my motion. I move to amend the title of the bill to state student Senate Bill 2023-1192 by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow
I
up.
move to approve SSB 2023-1192 by unanimous consent.
Any objections?
Oh wait,
Seeing
I rescind my motion.
Go ahead.
I move to amend the chapter heading of the bill to include in parentheses, comma 2023-1192 by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
Okay. Well, it was included in the other code revision, so I move to approve SSB 2023-1192 by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. SSB 2023-1192 has been approved. We'll now move on to SSB 2023-1193, which is the Guiding Authorities Establishment Act, 100 Codes Revision. This was authored by Senator Rajmi and Senator Nathaniel Pelton. No sponsors, so you'll have 5 minutes whenever you're ready, Senator Pelton.
Thank you very much. All right, so this is just codifying what we've been doing all along, which is using Robert's Rules of Order, the newly revised version, as the guiding authority of the Senate and, of course, student government as a whole, putting that into the 100 codes, and I yield the rest of it.
Thank you. Any members wishing to speak in question and answer? Vice Chair Marcelino.
Yes.
So you included procedures from Demeter's Manual of Parliamentary Law and Procedure, the current edition of the Standard Code of Parliamentary Procedure, or the current edition of Mason's Manual of Legislative Procedure, correct?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
So you included in 106.4, you included other parliamentary procedure manuals, right?
Yeah.
So do any of these conflict with each other, or like at any point?
Well, the point is if there is no clarification of Robert's rules, we turn to other sources of parliamentary procedure in order to evaluate what the best course of action is to move in the Senate. And of course, at any time, we can use the judicial branch as our opportunity, separation of powers or checks and balances, I should say, to where if any decision in the Senate is used based off of these parliamentary procedure documents, it can be checked by the judicial branch if they are not constitutional. This just allows for fail-safes to exist in case Robert's Rules of Order is not clear enough, in what direction we need to go in case that there's any question of parliamentary procedure in the Senate chamber.
Follow-up question.
Yeah, follow up.
So is your language of the bill basically saying that these additional manuals are subservient to Robert's rules in that case?
Absolutely, yes.
Would you be amenable to amending that to make it a bit clearer in the code?
I would, yes.
All right. Any members wish to speak in Q&A? Gotcha. I actually have a question. Why did you just only use Black's Law Dictionary and not Merriam-Webster, which the court has used as for general definitions?
Yeah, so Black Law's dictionary has been used in case law throughout history. It is known as sort of the gold standard of dictionaries when it comes to legality and specific. Webster's obviously is very helpful for general definitions, but Black Law is much more well hashed out and has been used year over year as sort of the standard for legal definitions.
Yeah, and follow up.
Yeah.
So my question to you is this: would you be amendable to making like Merriam-Webster dictionary be more definitive for just generic non-definitions that aren't Black's Law, like creating a precedent where it's Black's Law and then you have Merriam-Webster for general
I
definitions?
would be amendable.
Thank you. Any members wishing to speak in Q&A? Seeing none, we'll move on to 5 minutes of debate. All right, we'll move on to 2 minutes of final privilege.
Yeah, I think this is really important to have. It's clear we all, use parliamentary procedure in the Senate when the rules and procedures aren't clear, and I think this just gives us an opportunity to continue to use those resources whenever they're necessary. So I yield the remainder of my time.
All right, gotcha. Do I hear a motion to amend the body of this bill to read in SSB 2020? Well, in in 106.5 student body statute that it reads the following. The student government definitions authority shall be vested in the current edition of the Black's Law Dictionary, comma, followed by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary for any other definitions not covered by Black's Law.
So moved.
Just generally. Got it. We'll take a vote on that.
By name of consent.
Okay. Any members, any objections to that? Seeing none, that motion passes. Any other motions at this time? Vice Chair Marcelino?
I move to amend the title of the bill to state Student Senate Bill 2023-1193 by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
I move to add myself and
Yes.
Chairperson Stevens to the sponsors line by unanimous consent.
You said just our name.
To the sponsors line?
Yeah. Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
I move to add, follow up.
Follow
I
up.
move to add Senator Saket Damara to the sponsors line and Senator Matthew Reich to the sponsors line by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to amend 106.4 student body statute after parliamentary procedure, comma, to state which are subservient to Robert's Rules of Order newly revised, comma, by unanimous consent. You get that?
Repeat that one more time for me.
So after parliamentary procedures in 106.4 student body statute, after the comma there, add which
Which one again?
after that.
It's because these were in one of my advisory
After that.
programs.
So parliamentary procedure,
Yeah.
comma, which shall be
No, I
which shall
think the
be
reason these others were
subservient
is
to
they were in
Robert's
some
Rules
of
of
my,
Order newly
They were in
revised.
one of my advisory programs. I think only
Comma.
once a year, as a matter of fact. I think the rest of the meters and all that is because they were in one of my advisory programs when I wrote the.
Or newly revised.
I think that's where he got it from.
So Robert's Rules of Order newly revised.
No one else has asked me for any since the summer.
Okay.
Yeah. By unanimous consent.
Okay, awesome. My computer just died. So, any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to approve SSB 2023-1193 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. SSB 2023-1193 has been approved. We're going to move on to SSB 2023-1194, which is the Legislative Archives Clerical Update 300 Codes Revision. This was written by Senator Rajmi and Senator Nathaniel Pelton with no sponsors. You will have 5 minutes whenever you're ready for presentation.
I apologize for keeping you guys here longer, but it is very important that we update the codes to ensure that we are following the Constitution and all the changes that have been made in the past. This is very simple. The Division of Student Affairs is no longer the Division of Student Affairs. It is the Division of Student Life, and therefore that change must be reflected. I yield the remainder of my time.
All right, cool. Any members wishing to speak in question and answer? Debate? 2 minutes of final privilege?
I waive.
Any motions at this time? Vice Chair Marcelino?
I move to amend the title of the bill to read. SSB Student Senate Bill 2023-1194 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
Sorry, I feel you running. So what was it? 11.
I can change it when I got it. I'll listen to the recording. You're good.
I move to approve SSB 2023-1194 by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. SSB 2023-1194 has been approved. We're now moving on to SSB 2023-1195. Pulling it up right now. This is going to be the Legislative Chief of Staff's Establishment Act. This was authored by Senator Rajmian, authored by Senator Nathaniel Pelton. There are currently no sponsors, so Senator Pelton, you will have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much. All right, so we're starting to get into something more substantive here. Essentially, other peer institutions inside the state of Florida allow for chiefs of staff for each of the legislative officials. Of course, considering the fact that the executive branch is given dozens of officials to back up those individuals and assist them, I think it's only fair that the legislative branch officials also receive that opportunity if they wish to use it. There are protections in place in this bill to prevent the chief of staff from taking over the duties as ascertained within the codes and within the Constitution from that officer. However, this would be very helpful in just allowing them to move forward with their operations in a very steadfast way, given that they want to use this and have chief of staff. So I think it's very important that we give the legislative officers that opportunity, and I hope to see this pass. I yield.
Thank you. Any members wishing to speak in debate? Question and answer. Debate?
So the one...
Sorry.
I apologize. I'm organized, yeah?
You are
okay, thank you. Sorry about that. So the one issue I do see that I think we could be amended is the clause stating that attending the meeting in the Senate officer's absence, and I believe that could be misconstrued as Senate meetings, even though we have a line of succession already established in the Senate. So if you would be willing, I'm going to motion to amend that to correct that issue. If you have any input on that, I'll yield to you at that point. But besides that, I support this bill.
Any other members wishing to speak in debate? 2 minutes final privilege?
I'm absolutely amenable to that, and I yield.
Thank you. Any motions at this time? Vice Chair Marcelino?
I move to amend the title of the bill to state Senate Bill 2023-1195 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. Follow up?
I move to add myself to the sponsors line by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up?
I move to amend 312.1 SBS to strike after the legislative branch the semicolon and adding a comma, and then adding a comma after pro tempore by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
I yield to
Senator Reich.
Yeah, so I move to amend 312.2, the section claiming that they're stating attending meetings in the Senate officer's absence, and then I move to add barring any conflicts with the line of succession already previously outlined. That's amenable.
Is that by unanimous consent?
By unanimous consent. I just want to make sure that
I
wording
disagree with that wording.
Could you help elaborate with that? Yeah. Trying to think of a better way to put it.
not including regular or special meetings of the Senate.
Or virtual. There's also virtual meetings.
Committee meetings and attending committee meetings in that Senate officer's absence.
I mean, there's I'll go ahead. Let me handle this real quick, and I'll recognize it.
So, Chairperson Stevens, did you object to his
I
motion?
objected.
You objected? Okay. Senator Reich, it was.
Is it just, I mean-
312.2, right?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Thank you.
I mean, they wouldn't be a member though of the committee
Yeah. Not
because you could be giving non-senators the ability to vote on certain matters. So I think that probably just striking that whole section in general is best because it just opens like if they're attending the meeting in the Senate officer's absence. I mean, that should be assumed if they're going to be like a good chief of staff or if they're doing that. But I mean, even still, our party deputies don't even show up at those meetings. So I don't know if I could really. I think just striking that section is better. And then maybe we could, if you find better verbiage, we could deliberate that on the floor. But as the chair, that's my opinion on the matter. It's just striking that section because it only opens the door for more confusion.
And point of information. Do you mean just the sentence of and attending meetings in the Senate officer's absence? Yeah, I agree with that.
Correct. And conducting research can be the last line.
Yeah.
Vice Chair Marcelino.
I move to strike from 312.2 SBS the sections from semicolon and attending meetings in the Senate officer's absence by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. Follow up.
I move to amend 312.2 SBS to strike the semicolon after Senate officer and adding comma and by unanimous consent.
Gotcha. Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to amend 312.1 SBS to strike the hyphen between pro and tempore and just adding a space by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Follow up.
Up.
I move to approve SSB 2023-1195 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections?
I object real quick. I have one more thing.
Oh, then I
Go
yield
ahead.
to.
I move to for 312.2 in stating that they shall align the specific responsibilities and expectations of the appointed chief of staff, just like within constitutional bounds. Adding that terminology in there.
Wait, where?
By unanimous consent for 312.3.
Can you repeat the exact verbiage?
Adding after the appointed chief of staff and responsibilities and expectations of the appointed chief of staff within constitutional bounds by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Vice Chair Marcelino.
I move to approve SSB 2023-1195 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. SSB 2023-1195 has been approved. We're going to move on to SSB 2023-1196, which is going to be the Protect Student Voices Act. This was authored by Senator Nathaniel Pelton and sponsored by Senator Raj Mia. You will have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
All right, so this is a bit of a fun one. This is sort of allowing the executive committee of the student government to host an annual student assembly where students are given the opportunity to speak out to their student government officials, give them public comment, sort of like a Senate meeting, except it's for the executive branch and the Senate. And so I just think it's a really great opportunity to allow students to come out, kind of voice their opinions. There are obviously statutes put in place here that allows for specific circumstances to circumnavigate this. If the student body president or other executive officials are unable to make this happen, then we have procedures in place, as well as if the student body president wanted to have this hosted in conjunction with the State of the Campus address, that can be done as well. It's a great opportunity to have an event for students to come out and speak if they so choose. I think this is a great opportunity, and I hope to see this pass. I yield.
Thank you. Any members wishing to speak in question and answer? Senator Mayor.
Were you able to consult the student body president, vice president, treasurer, and the other members of the executive committee?
I have not. I've been trying to meet with all of them, or at least the student body president, for a couple of weeks. I have not received responses from the chief of staff, so unfortunately I'm not able to consult with them at this time.
Any members wishing to speak in question and answer? We're going to move on to debate. 5 minutes of debate. We're going to move on to 2 minutes of final privilege.
Oh, hope to see this pass. Yield.
Thank you. Any motions at this time? Vice Chair Marcelino.
I move to amend the title of the bill to state citizen of Bill 2023-1196 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to add myself and Chairperson Stevens to the sponsors line by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to. Are there any more grammatical errors? No. Sorry, I knew there was like grammatical errors somewhere, but I move to amend 535.32 SBS to state after the 5 put in parentheses the
Number 5, yeah.
the Arabic numeral 5. Yes, by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to approve SSB 2023-1196 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections?
I object.
All right.
Oh.
You're not going to follow?
I follow up. I move to approve again by roll call vote.
All right, gotcha. We're going to move on to roll call. We're going to take Marcelino,
Yes.
Senator Reich,
No.
Senator Demira, Senator Wang. Gotcha, and I will abstain by a vote of 1-3-1. That motion fails. Senator Reich,
I move to table this bill by unanimous consent.
any objections?
I object.
Objection.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I make the same motion as roll call vote.
Marcelino,
No.
Reich,
Yes.
Demira, Wang, and then I will vote no, so that will be a 3-0. That motion passes. This bill has been procedurally tabled. We're now going to move on to SSB 2023-1197, which is the Public Debate Consideration Correction Amendment, Rules Procedures Amendment. It was authored by Senator Rajmi and Senator Nathaniel Pelton. There are no sponsors, so you will have 5 minutes whenever you're ready, Senator Pelton.
Thank you. A lot of time spent reading through the Constitution and the codes. So essentially, it's not called public debate, it's called public comment. Not only does precedents say that, but also other areas in the codes stated as public comment, not public debate. So I'm simply making the correction in this code, and I yield.
All right, thank you. We're going to move on to 5 minutes of debate. Question and answer, excuse me. Debate. Final privilege.
I yield. Wait.
All right, and then we'll have Vice Chair Marcelino.
I move to amend the title of the bill to state Student Senate Bill 2023-1197 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to approve SSB 2023-1197 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. SSB 20. Oh, you said approve?
Yes,
Just make
approved.
sure. Awesome. We're going to move on to SSB 2023-1198, which is going to be the Senate resolution advocating for sustainable alternatives to sugarcane burning. This was authored by Green Caucus Chairman Nathaniel Pelton and Senator Hannah Ali. You will have 5 minutes whenever you're ready, Senator Pelton.
Yeah, so this is a very important issue that a lot of folks don't know about. As the sort of flagship university of the state of Florida, it's really important, and also as a very significant agricultural school in our state, it's very important to recognize an issue that is so important. Several people die every year as a result of the burning of sugarcane on fields. It's very destructive to the environment, and it kills people who, quite frankly, could be future gators. So I think it's really important that we push this through, show support for a community that's been, quite frankly, shoved in the dirt by these large corporations, and I hope to see this passed. I yield.
Awesome, thank you. We're going to move on to 5 minutes debate. Question and answer, excuse me. Any members wish to speak in Q&A? Debate. Yes.
I just wanted to say that I didn't really know this was a problem until I read this.
That's
and
dilatory. We're not talking about the content of the bill. We're moving on to 5 criteria. Thank you. I do appreciate the commentary, but we're not doing that anymore. We got to move these committees faster.
Agreed.
Any other members wishing to speak in debate? 2 minutes of final privilege.
I waive.
Thank you. We're going to move on to motions. Do you want to say something briefly since you waved? Go ahead.
I would be amenable to having Shalisa Budai added to the sponsor line. So if someone would make that motion, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. We're going to move on to the motions. Vice Chair Marcelino.
I move to amend the title of the bill to state Student Senate Resolution 2023-1198 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to add myself, Jonathan Chan Stevens, Senator Shalisa Budai, Senators Sakith Damira, Matthew Reich, and Lori Wang to the sponsors line by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to amend the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th whereas clause to, I don't know how you would, to, oh my god. Is that even a word? Okay, I guess it's a word. Never mind. I rescind my motion. I follow up.
Yep, follow up.
I move to approve SSB 2023-1198 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. 1198, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. That has been approved by the Judiciary Committee. We're going to move on to SSB 2023-1199. It's the Senate resolution recognizing October as Sustainability Month. It's authored by Green Caucus Chairman Nathaniel Pelton, sponsored by Senate President Oscar Santiago Perez and Senator Hannah Ali. You will have 5 minutes whenever you're ready, unless you want to... All right, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much. All right, so several universities across the United States recognize the month of October as Sustainability Month. I think it's a great opportunity for us as a Senate to recognize the month as such, allowing the executive branch and Gators Going Green, as stated in the resolution, to use that time in order to promote sustainability initiatives across campus. And I'd really like to see this pass because I think it's a really important thing that's underutilized and underserved, which is sustainability initiatives here on campus. So yeah, I yield.
Thank you. We're going to move on to 5 minutes of question and answer. 5 minutes of debate. 2 minutes of final privilege.
I simply ask that the bill be amended to add Senator Chalisa Budai to the sponsor line, and I yield.
Thank you. We're going to have motions now. Vice Chair Marcelino.
Move to amend the title of the bill to state student Senate Resolution 2023-1199 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to add myself, Chairperson Stevens, anybody else, Senator Sakith Damira, and Senator Chalisa Budai to the sponsors line by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to approve SSB 2023-1199 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. SSB 2023-1199 has been approved. We're now going to move on to SSB 2023-1200. Congratulations to you breaking through the 120. I think it's the first time in SG history. In a year, we've produced 200 bills. Wonder why. It's gonna be authored by Senator Raj Mee and Senator Nathaniel Pelton. The title, if I didn't say into the record, was Senator Attendance Transparency Act 300 Codes Revision, and there are no sponsors. So you'll have 5 minutes whenever you're ready, Senator Nathaniel Pelton.
Perfect. It's very important that students are aware when their senators show up. The meeting minutes, they're great. They do reflect the attendance of the senators, but they're not always 100% accurate. There are multiple roll calls taken in most meetings, and so I think it's really important that individuals of our student body are able to go onto the website, see when their senators have shown up, and it's very clear for them to kind of get an idea of that sort of visibility. So I hope to see this pass, and I yield.
Thank you. We're going to move on to 5 minutes of question and answer. Any questions?
Yes.
Senator Reich. It's okay. Senator Reich.
So has this been talked over with both the Senate secretaries and Chairwoman Clark in respect to the feasibility of this?
It has not. But
Okay.
Considering the fact that several other documents have been placed online, given the students a little bit more transparency into the Senate, I think that this falls perfectly in line with what they already have done and what they're capable of.
And follow up.
Follow up.
Would this include, so with the roll call, does that include roll call votes or is it just specifically attendance roll call?
Just attendance.
Okay.
All right, thank you. We're going to move on to Dr. Demare. Go ahead.
So, would you? I asked this just as courtesy. Would you be amendable to talking this over with the chairwoman of the Rules and Ethics Committee as well as Senate secretaries?
Can you please speak up into the record? I can barely even hear you.
Oh, I apologize. The question to the author was whether or not they would be amendable to talking this piece of legislation over with the chairwoman of the Rules and Ethics Committee as well as the Senate secretaries, understanding of the fact that
there are pieces of documents that are also put on the website, but just to ensure the logistics are completely available.
Considering all these documents are very easy to formulate, and most likely they already are because they are records that are already created, I will not be consulting with those individuals at this time.
All right, any members wishing to speak in question and answer? Debate? I'll just say something real quick. I concur with what the presenter has stated. I don't really see how that is a record that is difficult to add. I think that is just one hyperlink, really, if I'm correct. It's just all in one document. So I don't really see how that's very important for us to just consult with someone else that is their job to do and that they have to put on a document and send to the Senate Secretary. It's just making sure it's on there. There's really nothing else I can really say. So. Vice Chair Marcelino?
I mean, like, for our 5 criteria wise, there's nothing really, like, there's nothing that really violates them. I mean, we already put on, like, the minutes, like, roll call records in the minutes. This is just making it a bit more accessible to the student body. I mean, we put vote records in the minutes, and, like, we also have a separate vote record, like, data sheet. So it's a pretty feasible thing, and the other 4 criteria is nothing really that conflicts with this, so that's it.
All right, thank you. Any other members wishing to speak in debate? 2 minutes of final privilege.
I hope to see this pass. I yield.
Thank you, and we're going to move on to motions. Vice Chair Marcelino?
I move to amend the title of the bill to state Student Senate Bill 2023-1200 by unanimous consent.
Are there any amendments? Objections, excuse me? Seeing none, the motion passes.
Follow up. I move to add myself and Chairperson Stevens to the sponsors line by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up. I move to amend 303.2 SBS to include after 1 in the section where it says 1 week of their creation, to add the Arabic numeral 1 after 1 in parentheses. By unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up. I move to approve SSB 2023-1200 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections?
I object.
Got it.
I move the same by roll call vote.
By roll call vote? Perfect. We're going to move on to roll call. Vice Chair Marcelino?
Yes.
Senator DeMera?
No.
Senator Wang? Senator Reich?
No.
And I'll abstain. That's going to be on a 1 to 3 to 1 vote. That motion fails. Any other members wishing to provide motions? Senator DeMera?
I would table this bill by unanimous
I object.
Thank you.
I would make that same motion.
Perfect. Thank you. And we're going to go to Vice Chair Marcelino?
No.
Senator DeMera?
Yes.
Senator Wang? And Senator Reich, excuse me?
Yes.
And then we're going to go on to my vote. I will vote in the opposition to this, so this will be a 3-2 vote. That motion passes. SSB 2022-11 1200 has been tabled, excuse me. Senatorial Member Organization Act is the next one. This is SSB 2022-1201. It was authored by Senator Nathaniel Pelton. No sponsors, so you'll have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Yeah, so this, I am so sorry. 1 second. Okay. So this is just a bit of a fun one. So in the U.S. House of Representatives, they have something called congressional member organizations. It's something that we sort of do informally here in our Senate, but it's not codified. Essentially, these are just fun little identity caucuses that we have in the Senate, whether it be the Green Caucus, whether it be the LGBTQ Affairs Caucus, or any such. This just codifies it, allows for there to be actual procedures in place to give them the opportunity to determine their own structure, function, and of course reminds everyone that these are not given any opportunities like political parties in the Senate. They aren't given a seat on RNA. We make sure that we're very clear about that, but it gives, again, the opportunity for senators to join identity caucuses or caucuses that they wish to work with in the Senate. So hope to see this pass, and I yield.
Thank you. We're going to move on to 5 minutes of question and answer. Are there any questions? Senator Reich? Yeah.
So how would one go about forming an SMO? What would be the process for the creation of such an organization?
Yeah, so because I've left it very general, that's sort of a matter of however the leader or whatever designate of that SMO wants to go about. But you'll see in 312.01 Upon the agreement of the structure and function of the SMO, the leader or their designee shall contact student government advising operations to inform them of the makeup. That's really where the official sort of beginning of the SMO starts. Again, I want to make this very general. We don't want to overbearingly legislate this process, since it's supposed to be just a fun little thing that we do in the Senate. So as long as that's submitted to them, it's a thing.
Okay.
Question, Marcelino?
So is there like a minimum number that you're thinking of that should comprise an SMO? Because like, if it's left up into the air, one can say like 2 people is an SMO.
So because, as I denote in 312.02, it is not considered a political party, therefore we don't need the minimum threshold of 8, and I felt that threshold was unnecessary for a caucus in the first place, because these are simply, again, silly little things that we're creating to work towards different goals in the Senate. Whether you care about certain issues, you can do it with however many individuals you want.
Follow up. So you state in 312.011 SBS, the Student Government Advising Operation shall update the Student Senate roster website to actually display the members' SMO affiliations. Is it like in like conjunction with like how it says like parentheses party next to like our names, or are you thinking like adding like actual a list of like all the SMOs within the Senate?
Yeah, so the former, we're looking to just simply add it sort of next to the party affiliation. It'll be very clearly denoted on the website that these are simply caucuses. They're, again, as stated in 312.02, they're not political parties. They have no real function or any power whatsoever. Again, this just allows for individuals, our student body, to know sort of what we're up to, the groups that we care about, the groups that we're involved in, and I just think it's a really great opportunity to do that.
Perfect. We're going to now move on to more question and answers. Are there any questions at this time? Senator Reich?
Would you be amenable to having a provision in this bill that states that the definition for an SMO be posted along with like a hyperlink somewhere on the website, however you deem it, just so students understand what an SMO is, but it's listed next to the name?
Well, considering it's in the codes, I don't know that it's necessary.
Okay.
But I mean, I suppose I would be amenable. I just don't really see how that would work out. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
So my question is regarding just the inclusion of a membership count. I know that obviously you are trying to keep this very open, but I want to present to you a concern that could populate, is that what if a group of individuals or an individual specifically created a multitude of SMOs? And yes, I know it's kind of in a multitude. I know that the courts can determine that, but I think just to be proactive, instead of letting the courts make that determination, that let's say someone just creates like 15 SMOs and that's just included on the website. I mean, that could very well create a huge issue where there's a lot of bandwidth and a lot of individuals who are put into this SMO. Now, albeit there could be 15 SMOs with a lot of membership, and that's different than having one individual who cultivated 15 SMOs. So would you be amenable to at least creating a 5-member, like, minimum number for those caucuses? Because I think that, like, that would be a solid number to start off with and see if that's...
If I'm honest, I'm hesitant because there are some identity groups in the Senate that have less than 5 individuals represented.
Would you rather do 3 then?
I would be amenable to 3, but I'm very hesitant to do this in general, simply because I really believe that it's important that we give individuals in the Senate the right to do what they want. I would be more so amenable to putting a limit to the number of SMOs that an individual senator can create on their own. That I would be amenable to, maybe 2 at most. Otherwise, I really don't like having the minimum because, again, there are groups in the Senate, as we well know, that have less than 5 individuals in the chamber. So it's very important that we give those people the representation they deserve.
Okay, thank you for that answer.
Yeah.
Any members wishing to speak in question and answer? Vice Chair Marcelino?
This is just basically like an organizational thing. It's nothing like really like on you or anything. Do you think it's better placed in our rules and procedures rather than in the 300 codes, or like in the codes? Yeah. Since political parties and caucuses are within our rules and procedures.
I suppose. I think at this point, given the number of problems that we're seeing, I would be okay with having this tabled or even failed, and we can just. I'll redress this.
Fail, I can't. We can't.
Okay.
Rescind it, so
Table, rescind, whatever works. I can come back with a rules and procedures amendment next week and do it that way. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm fine with that, to change these issues.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to 5 minutes of debate. Any members wishing to speak in debate? 2 minutes of final privilege.
I waive.
All right, and then any motions? Vice Chair Marcelino?
To postpone SSB 2023-1201 to the next scheduled judiciary meeting by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. Thank you.
Point of parliamentary inquiry.
What's up?
So if it's postponed, it's allowed to be withdrawn, edited, and then resubmitted again as well?
If it's postponed, we can just get the amendments if you need
Okay.
to, so. Good. Thanks. We're going to move on to SSB 2023-1202, which is the Student Government Diversity and Programming Committee Facilitation Act. It was authored by Senator Rajmi and Senator Nathaniel Pelton. There are no sponsors, so Senator Pelton, 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much. All right. Very small change, but very important. A previous student body vice president stated that they were unable to do their job and host the Student Government Diversity and Programming Committee in a previous year because individuals of each of those diverse groups were unable to attend, the presidents, I should say. So this allows for the designees of those presidents in each of those organizations to attend the meeting, so that way that the vice president is able to sufficiently meet with this group, as it's a very important aspect of their duty. So I think it's really important that we give them this opportunity, and I yield.
Awesome. We're going to move on to question and answer. I'm actually going to start off with the first question. So, which student body vice president said this specifically?
Vice President Daniel Bedell.
Daniel Bedell? Okay, thank you. Yes, Senator DeMaron.
Would you be amenable to adding the Diversity Affairs Executive Secretary to this list? I thought I was wondering if I know it's already like in the codes, but if you just
I think that can be addressed with another bill at another time. I think this is just, we want to maintain the focus on allowing designees in this bill specifically.
Any members wishing to speak in question and answer? We're going to move on to debate. I'm actually going to go ahead and speak real quick. So, I'm going to be frank with everyone in this room. I think that the vice presidents in the past have done a really poor job at addressing this problem. I think that this is a good bill that will solve this, and I mean, it fulfills all the 5 criteria, but the fact that we haven't met the Student Government Diversity Programming Committee for years, as a Big 9 leader, has been frustrating to me because I understand strategically the value of that. Furthermore, what I think is more frustrating is the fact that in previous correspondences, and the Senate President and a lot of other officials had that, there were certain Big 9s that were just even omitted from that list actively in those emails, and I just think that's frustrating. Among those was Christ Union, Islam on the Campus, etc. I just think that it's really interesting and frustrating that we're seeing certain Big 9s in the past kind of be addressed in this matter, but then others weren't. I think that this committee has, again, been failed by a lot of the executive branch officials, and I mean, I stand by that statement, especially when I say it on the record. Hasn't even been called to order at all. I haven't received one correspondence as a leader. I don't think the Senate President has either. It's just been very interesting and odd that this has been something that has just been touted around and hasn't been addressed. So I appreciate the amendment. I think it's great, but I think that as SG officials, we need to start thinking about using the resources we have here and actually acting on them. You know, there's not a lot of, specific requirements for these committees, and I again just think it's really frustrating and disappointing that we haven't seen it enacted or utilized at all in this term. So again, thank you, but that's all I really have to say. Any members wishing to speak in debate? Cool. We're going to move on to 2 minutes of final privilege.
I waive.
And then any motions at this time? Vice Chair Marcelino?
I move to amend the title of the bill to state Student Senate Bill 2023-1202 by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Follow up.
I move to add myself and Chairperson Jonathan Chan Stevens to the sponsor line by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Follow up.
I move to approve SSB 2023-1202 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. SSB 2023-1202 has been approved. We're going to move on to SSB 2023-1203, which is the Student Life Clerical Correction 300 Codes Revision. It was authored by Senator Rajmi and Senator Nathaniel Pelton, and it was sponsored by no one right as of this time. You will have 5 minutes whenever you're ready, Senator Pelton.
It speaks for itself at this point. I apologize for so many of these silly little things, but it's very important we keep the codes up to date. So I yield.
Thank you. We're going to move on to 5 minutes of debate or question and answer. 5 minutes of debate. 2 minutes of final privilege.
Senator Bolton.
Oh, I waive.
And any motions at this time? Vice Chair Marcelino?
I move to amend the title of the bill to state Senate Bill 2023-1203 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. Follow
I
up.
move to approve SSB 2023-1203 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. We're going to move on to SSB 2023-1204, the last bill of the docket. It's going to be the Table of Contents Correction Systems Act, Rules of Procedures Amendment. It has been authored by Senator Raj Mia and authored by Senator Nathaniel Pelton. No sponsors, so you will have 5 minutes whenever you're ready, Senator Pelton.
All right, so this does two very important things. First of all, it just gets a little bit more specificity as to the formatting we're looking to see this committee receive these amendments by, which is in the same manner as code provisions. Again, simple little codification of what we've been doing this whole time. Second, we add Section C, which allows and codifies the necessity for the Senate Secretaries to adjust the table of contents of the rules and procedures, which is something that has not been done up until this point. There are some disparities within the table of contents, if you will, and so we want to make sure that that ends and the Senate Secretaries are, guided to fix the rules and procedures table of contents when any amendment is made, and I yield my time.
Thank you. Any questions and answers at this time? Senator Reich?
Could you go into more depth describing the changes that the addition of the Section 2A would enact?
Yeah, so like I said, it's just adding more specificity and codifying what's been taking place in the first place. Nowhere in the rules and procedures as it currently states does it say that the rules and procedures amendments have to follow the same format as a code revision. And so we're just simply codifying, as I said, something that we've been doing forever, which is submitting them as if they are code revisions.
And point of parliamentary inquiry for the chair. Would this change how we operate at all, or no?
No. It would just, it wouldn't do anything. The only thing essentially it would do is it would create a second reading for those types of things.
In judiciary?
In judiciary, correct. Because it would be considered code revision, it would be considered a resolution. That's really the only functional change this is going to do. So it's not changing our 5 criteria. It's not changing anything we're doing here. It's just adding a second reading to it. And also aligning itself with what the Constitution says for bills and bills of law. Is there an issue that you'd like to address?
I don't speak privileges in this committee, so
I can provide for speaking privileges if you wanted me to.
We yield time.
I can yield time. I got it. Yep. Thanks. If that's what you want to do.
So in terms of the rules currently, it does state that rules and procedures changes do just require one reading. They can find I'm just trying to find the one reading section. Yeah. It's Rule 7, Section 1KI. The rules and procedure change requires one reading. It seems like this would create kind of if we go with the fact that it's supposed to be a codes revision, then
it would create a conflict essentially.
Yeah, the rules and procedures would be conflicting at that point.
Can I ask you a question? Would you be amenable to just striking code revision in general, or do you want the second reading for it?
Yeah, I'm amenable. I'm amenable to that. Just keep Section C change, remove the Section A changes. I'm fine with that.
All right. Any other members wishing to speak in Q&A? Debate? We'll move on to 2 minutes of final privilege.
I waive.
All right, and then any motions at this time? Vice Chair Marcelino?
I move to amend the title of the bill to read Senate Bill 2023-1204 by unanimous consent.
Any objections? Seeing on the motion passes.
Follow up.
I
move to amend the Section 2, subsection A of the Rules and Procedures Amendment to strike in the same manner as a code revision as a resolution, so that it's reversed by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing on the motion passes.
Follow
up.
I move to approve SSB 2023-1204 by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing on the motion passes. SSB 2023-1204 has been approved. That is the final bill that is on the docket. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to judicial nominations. Thank you, Senator Pelton, for barring with all that time. We do appreciate you.
Can we call for a 3-minute recess in between?
That is a motion that you can make. You weren't recognized, though. Thank you. Your most. Go ahead.
I move to a 3-minute recess by unanimous consent, or until called back by the chair by unanimous consent.
Are there any objections? Seeing that motion passes, we will reconvene at 12:11 p.m. Thank you.